Hi, so I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about Moses and the book of Exodus this morning. I love the story of Moses. It's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. But what I really wanted to share with you today was a little bit about the Israelites after they've escaped from Egypt. So obviously, as you know from the story, if you don't know, the Israelites were in captivity and slavery for many years, and Moses has come and he's pleaded with Pharaoh to let his people go, and finally they've escaped now. They've ran away even after the Egyptians came after them as well, and then they've crossed the parting of the Red Sea, and they've seen all these miracles, and God's brought them basically out of captivity. He's heard their cries and he's brought them out of captivity. And the interesting part of this is once they get out of there is the mentality of still being in captivity, still having that mindset of being in slavery. And so it gets interesting as well as it goes further. The Israelites are often complaining when they're in the wilderness after they've come out of Egypt, and they're looking and they've been promised this promised land, and they're looking for this, and Moses is guiding them. And there was a part of it though, there's quite a few interesting parts really with their thinking and how the Israelites act actually after coming out of slavery. But one part of that I wanted to have a look at was in Exodus 16, and it looks at when Moses took the people of Israel away from the Red Sea, and when he brings them into the desert. They're there for a while, a couple of days in the hot sun, and then after that he then says when they came to an oasis, it was of Marah, the water was too bitter to drink. So they've been through the desert for a while, they've come to this oasis, and the water there is too bitter to drink. The people then complaining to Moses, like, what are we going to do now? Like, the water's proper bitter and stuff. We can't have it. So then he says, okay, well, Moses calls out to God, and God says, throw this piece of wood into the water, and then the water was okay to drink after that. And I thought, in circumstances in our life, when I was reading that, I was thinking, we can be in a dry season, God brings us into an oasis, and then we can come to something. And if we are carrying bitterness, if we carry unforgiveness or negative mentalities and thoughts, that can create a bitterness in an oasis that God is meant to bring you to. And it's only when Moses called out to God and God had to come in, when something had to be added to that water, when God was brought into that situation, when he threw the wood into there, then the water was okay to drink. And I wanted to just encourage you today, if maybe you're going through a difficult time, maybe you're carrying around a bitterness over a circumstance, over a situation that's happened, maybe a difficulty in a relationship or a family, and you've said, I'm carrying around this bitterness, but God's saying, throw that piece of wood, throw me into that situation, and when you do that, I'll make it sweet again. I'll make it okay for you. And I just want to encourage you today just to bring God into your circumstance, bring God into those bitter situations, and allow him to have his way.